Uh-oh. You know what time it is. It's time for some beat. Today we're trying the chord spam method because I got inspired by someone's beat in Nick Mira's Discord server. Right now I'm messing with some detune and wave shape knobs on 3x oscillator. I don't really use this that much, so I thought I would switch it up a little bit. Right now it sounds kind of dry and boring, so I'm adding some delay to help fill out the space. Next I'm putting this new free plugin I found called Anina. He was explaining what it did, but I wasn't really listening, so I thought I'd download it and mess with it for myself, and I think it made it sound pretty cool. I saw a plugin on Instagram earlier called Botanica, and it was only $6 and sounded cool, so I thought I would try it out. I thought this piano knob sounded the coolest, so I based the rest of the beat off of that. After I got that to sound kind of cool, I realized that it was adding a lot of frequencies that were not in the key and made it sound weird. So I put some chroma on it and figured out which key I was in by looking at the notes. And I found out it was D major, because I had an F sharp and a C sharp. Right now I'm pressing Ctrl-Alt-C to consolidate it, which is pretty much just bouncing it to audio, because then I can chop it up and resample it. Then I consolidated it again so that I don't have to select all of them when I copy paste. And then I'm also removing a lot of the low end so it doesn't interfere with my drums later on. Now I'm adding some reverb. I use this layer plugin a lot because I think it sounds really cool. There's some secret sauce for you. Next I'm building the first melody. I used 3x oscillator because I just had it open. And I decided to use some slide notes by using the little triangle in the top left of the piano roll. When you're first starting out making melodies, I recommend humming it or trying to sing it first, because your ears know a lot better than your fingers. Once you do it a lot, then you can just hear it in your head and make it. Once I found a preset that I was kind of happy with, I decided I still wanted the slide notes, and since Xenology is not a native FL Studio plugin, I had to bounce out a note and treat it like it was a one-shot. Once you have your MP3, you can drag it into the sampler, and then your slide notes work just fine. By default, all one-shots will play until they're over, so if you want it to stop when the note stops, you can go into this tab and make sure the hold is cranked to the max while all the other ones are off. Now I'm adding more chords because I want the loop to have a sense of progression. I know we made chords previously, but those were pushed to the background and I want these ones to be more present. After I got my chords sounding good and I got a preset I liked, I decided I wanted to add a top line melody to this. Now, I like this preset, but it sounds kind of dry, so I'm adding another piano to layer on top of it. I then decided I wanted to move the piano up an octave so that it wasn't competing with everything else in that frequency range. And now I'm adding another melody on top. Now I'm consolidating it so I can resample it. I thought it would be interesting if I changed the pitch and then retuned it with chroma, so I did that. Now I'm adding a synth melody. I wanted something simple to stand in front of the piano. I felt like this beat should have crazy drums, so I started by adding this clap and spammed it to help bring the energy up. I added this other clap to accent the first one and add some bounce. Now I'm adding an 808. Now I'm adding a clap to bring out the strong beats, which are the 2 and 4 in this situation. Now I'm adding some open hats for some extra flavor and bounce. There's not really much theory behind this. You just experiment and stop whenever you find something you like. It's critical that you're not just placing stuff all over the place, but instead listening for spots you can fill in without cluttering. This just takes time and practice to get good at. Now I'm adding another open hat and treating it more like a shaker for more texture. You can get a cool effect if you mess with the velocity. Now I'm adding another melody to make the second verse more interesting. After changing the preset, I'm adding some delay because I like how it sounds. And now I'm adding some panning so it doesn't distract too much from the melody in the center. Now I'm adding some interesting hi-hats for the intro. There wasn't really much plan behind this, I just wanted to experiment and see how it sounded. Now I'm adding some delay for an interesting effect. And now some Portal to top it all out. Here's the finished beat. If this video helped you at all, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 100 subs in the next 2 weeks.